Nikola Tesla.
Amethyst. Gray.
ASSAP Seriously Strange. Nikola Tesla.
Amethyst. Gray.
ASSAP Seriously Strange.
Personal history.
Nikola Tesla was born on 10th July 1856 in Smiljan, Austrian Empire, now Croatia.
Educated at Graz University of Technology, dropped out. Known for alternating current, high voltage, high frequency power experiments, significant designs.
AC motor, carbon button lamp, death ray, induction motor, plasma globe, plasma lamp, polyphase system, radio control, resonant inductive coupling, rotating magnetic field, teleforce, telegeodynamics, teleoperation, Tesla coil, Tesla experimental station, Tesla's oscillator, Tesla turbine, Tesla valve, torpedo, vacuum variable capacitor, violet ray, VTOL, Wardenclyffe Tower, wireless power transfer, World Wireless System. Died in New York City, U.S. 78 January 1943, aged 86. Father of the modern world. Arguably, Tesla can be regarded as the father of the modern world since he developed alternating current and the means to transfer large amounts of electricity over large distances. An efficient electric motor, an electric dynamo and subsequent generator for generating electricity. The means to generate and transfer high-voltage electricity. Fluorescent lighting. Radio communication, along with Marconi. Radio remote control. Wireless communication. Wireless power distribution, etc. I could spend many hours going through his many achievements and setbacks, but I will just concentrate on 3 or so strands. The Tesla coil. One of the key components used in many subsequent Tesla devices was the Tesla coil. A Tesla coil is an electrical resonant transformer circuit designed by Tesla in 1891. It is used to produce high voltage, low current, high frequency alternating current electricity. Tesla experimented with a number of different configurations consisting of 2, or sometimes 3, coupled resonant electric circuits. Tesla used these circuits to conduct innovative experiments in electrical lighting, phosphorescence, X-ray generation, high-frequency alternating current phenomena, electrotherapy, and the transmission of electrical energy without wires. Tesla coil circuits were used commercially in spark-gap radio transmitters for wireless telegraphy until the 1920s and in medical equipment such as electrotherapy and violet ray devices. Today, their main usage is for entertainment and educational displays, although small coils are still used as leak detectors for high vacuum systems. The violet ray machine. Many people are familiar with Nikola Tesla and his Tesla coil. But very few people are aware that in the late 1800s he combined his Tesla coil with a sealed glass electrode tube that was filled with one of various gases such as argon, violet, or neon, red. This was presented to the world by him at the 1893 Chicago World's Fair, Columbian Expo. The violet ray machine puts out high-frequency electricity of around 50,000 V with a very low current. It was once widely used to treat strep throat, streptococcal pharyngitis, and other infections before the introduction of antibiotics. In the 1920s and 1930s, many pharmacies and chemist shops around the world had these devices to alleviate the aches and pains of customers. Nikola Tesla's fame in power generation and lighting had helped to assure their success. Several electrical companies produced many machines before the Great Depression. After the Depression, there were fewer manufacturers, and the remainder switched to making radio coils and other war components during World War II. During the 1940s and 1950s, makers of violet ray machines were subjected to numerous lawsuits and multiple actions by the U.S. government and the FDA, as was also the case with Wilhelm Reich's orgone generator. The violet ray machine. Despite being sidelined and largely forgotten, the violet ray machine remains FDA certified to this day for treating signs of aging and skin conditions as well as hair loss. The violet ray machine, pictured, is usually a handheld device with a variety of glass electrode tubes, such as a comb rake, a bulb and a flattened mushroom bulb, pictured above, any of which can be inserted into the plug base and used on the part of the body being treated. Other electrode shapes were designed to improve the effectiveness of treatments by the violet ray machine. A point electrode is used for the eye, small areas, and cystic or acne spots. A mushroom bulb is used to cover larger surface areas such as legs, arms, chest, and back. A spoon electrode has a curve which makes it a useful tool for rounded areas on the cheeks, forehead, neck, and scalp. The comb rake electrode is specifically used to benefit the scalp and stimulates hair growth to reduce a thinning scope. Wireless power transmission. After seeking and obtaining funds and sponsors, Tesla finally brought his widespread power delivery system, a project dubbed the Wardensielf Project, to Long Island, New York. This was Tesla's final experiment site. His initial idea was to facilitate wireless communication between the English mainland and boats at sea. However, after some notable competitors mounted similar projects, Tesla extended the range, thus the cost, of his world wireless system to cover the entire face of the Earth. The Wardensielf facilities consisted of a 29 by 29 meter building, an almost 60 meter tall tower mounted with a 21 meter diameter sphere, and metal bars extending deep into the Earth. In the late 19th century, Tesla's work on the tower explored electrical transmission using radio frequency resonance to create electrical energy through two coils to generate high voltage, high frequency currents. This most likely made use of the physical height of the tower above and below ground to harness free, atmospheric electricity, as demonstrated by Benjamin Franklin, Thomas François Dalibard. Tesla's experiments used near-field inductive and capacitive couplings. Near-field inductive is a short-range wireless physical layer that transmits a low-power, non-propagating magnetic field between devices. Capacitive couplings transmit power between two networks by displacing currents produced by the electrical fields. Tesla performed demonstrations in front of crowds showing how incandescent bulbs could be lit wirelessly when in the proximity of the coil, cover photograph and insert. As his research progressed, he tested long-distance transmission using LC circuits. Wireless power transmission. Tesla furthered his studies to develop a long-distance transmission method at a high-altitude location in Colorado Springs. His theory was that low-pressure air present at 30,000 feet would allow the electrical transmission to travel much longer distances. He speculated he could use the entire planet to conduct electricity by sending alternating current pulses into the ground. His original scheme consisted of two tethered balloons connected to the ground and positioned high above the ground, communicating together via the Earth's conductive atmospheric layers. He then scaled up his project with experiments he conducted in Colorado Springs, confirming the air and atmosphere's electrical conductivity. He had constructed 16-meter diameter transmitters, which operated to an estimated 4 million volts and produced 30-meter long discharges capable of lighting lamps in his nearby laboratory. Finally, in 1900, Tesla received the patent for his device and transmission technique. In 1896, Tesla was working on oscillations for wireless energy transfer. The idea was to build a steam-powered oscillator, able to create various changing frequencies. If the frequency matched the resonance frequency of a receiving device, this device should transform the mechanical oscillations back into an electric current. Wireless power transmission. In 1897 the device was ready, and in 1898 Tesla supposedly managed to oscillate his laboratory at 48 East Houston Street, NY, enough that alarmed neighbors called the police, fearing an earthquake happening. Tesla later explained the principle to reporter Alan L. Benson, who in February 1912 published an article about Tesla's resonator in the World Today magazine. He put his little vibrator in his coat pocket and went out to hunt a half-erected steel building. Down in the Wall Street district, he found 10 stories of steel framework without a brick or a stone laid around it. He clamped the vibrator to one of the beams and fussed with the adjustment until he got it. Tesla said finally the structure began to creak and weave, and the steel workers came to the ground panic-stricken, believing that there had been an earthquake. Police were called out. Tesla put the vibrator in his pocket and went away. 10 minutes more and he could have laid the building in the street. And, with the same vibrator, he could have dropped the Brooklyn Bridge into the East River in less than an hour. Wireless power transmission. The earthquake generator could also be used for more peaceful applications. Tesla imagined an array of smaller devices distributed all over the planet to relieve energy from Earth and also to send energy from one spot to another. A transmitter, a device consisting of a piston vibrating inside a cylinder, transforms electric energy into vibrations. Using the rocks in the underground as a sort of conductor, the vibrations are sent to a receiving device and the oscillations are transformed back into electricity, to be used locally. However, the telegeodynamics system by Tesla never managed to get beyond the prototype. In reality, the device was not powerful enough to send energy through the Earth. Dampening of the oscillations by structures in the underground was far too strong. Tesla didn't get the chance to resolve this issue though. The cast and J.P. Morgan's relationship with the rival copper wire manufacturers ultimately led Tesla's project to a definitive halt in 1906 when funding was stopped. In an attempt to satisfy Tesla's debts, the tower was demolished for scrap in 1917 and the property taken into foreclosure in 1922. However, the original, 29 by 29 meter brick building designed by Stanford White remains standing to this day. Teleforce and Tunguska. Despite the wireless power transmission project being on hold at Wardensiel, Tesla remained at the site for a few more years. Tesla is said to have subsequently produced a death ray, a particle beam or even an electromagnetic weapon that could destroy large areas with little difficulty. Tesla's death ray is said to have been called the Teleforce, and it was described by Tesla in A Machine to End War. This invention of mine does not contemplate the use of any so-called death rays. Rays are not applicable because they cannot be produced in requisite quantities and diminish rapidly in intensity with distance. All the energy of New York City, approximately 2 million horsepower, transformed into rays and projected 20 miles, could not kill a human being, because, according to a well-known law of physics, it would disperse to such an extent as to be ineffectual. My apparatus projects particles which may be relatively large or of microscopic dimensions, enabling us to convey to a small area at a great distance trillions of times more energy than is possible with rays of any kind. Many thousands of horsepower can thus be transmitted by a stream thinner than a hair so that nothing can resist. Teleforce and Tunguska. A book, written by Dr. Fred Lipschitz called Suddenly gives us an interesting perspective on Tesla, Tunguska, and the Teleforce device. As revealed by Dr. Lipschitz, around 1908, long before Tesla tried marketing his death ray device, the inventor boasted about his ability to be able to transmit massive amounts of energy across the planet. At exactly this time, Admiral Robert Edwin Peary set out to explore the Arctic. Tesla was aware of this and even claimed that he would direct a huge beam of energy toward Peary, and would wait for the Admiral to confirm it. Although Peary never received the energy burst, Tunguska was located at the very same latitude as Peary. This coincidence has led many Tesla believers to propose that the energy beam sent out by Nikola Tesla became misdirected, completely missing Peary, but instead ending up in Tunguska, where it destroyed more than 80 million trees. Whether Tesla was directly responsible for the Tunguska explosion is a mystery we are never likely to solve, but Tesla had a history of responding with solutions to problems long believed to be impossible. Tesla was the man who, essentially, made the impossible possible. Was Nikola Tesla a mystic? Tesla had a photographic memory. He could read information once and then repeat it word for word years later. He saw each invention as a whole piece. He thought it through to the smallest detail in his head before committing it to paper. Without any design notes to refresh his memory, he could build an invention, years after he had first thought it out. He was not a typical try-then-tweak inventor. Tesla never wrote down his memoirs. We can't know what he really thought. As with many who have seemed to tap into the universal flow, Tesla died with many of his secrets still in his head. When he was only 12, Tesla learned that deep, rhythmic breathing over-ventilated his lungs, removing excess CO and over-stimulating them with oxygen. This changed the balance of his body, setting his brain to produce occult experiences. Whilst at college in Budapest and still suffering from a strange illness that seemed to manifest as hypersensitivity in his body, the solution to the EAC induction motor flooded into his mind. He had been in a city park with a friend. A beautiful sunset came over the city. Tesla was reciting Goethe's Faust to his friend. He stopped suddenly. Light flooded his eyes and burned like the sky. Tesla saw the motor's design in full detail. Each part fitted perfectly. Was Nikola Tesla a mystic? Tesla learned early in his experiments that coils of wire, inductances, respond to harmonic vibrations in an AC current field. He found that a coil wound for a specific wavelength would trigger some other coils in his laboratory whilst others didn't. The coils which reacted had a harmonic wavelength relationship to the one with which he was working. Some people believe that it is possible to tap the cosmos for energy if we learn how to tune into its oscillations and harmonic relationships. It is with the oscillatory harmonic relationships that the physical and metaphysical meet. One night as he lay in the darkness of his room working out problems as usual, his favorite white pigeon with grey wingtips flew in through the open window and perched on the top of his desk. He knew that she wanted to tell him something important. He got up from his bed and went to her. Tesla knew as soon as he looked at her that she had come to tell him that she was dying. This knowledge came to him from a powerful beam of light that came through her eyes. The light was intense, it was brilliant to the point of being dazzling, and white. It was more powerful than any light he had ever produced in his laboratory. When the pigeon died, something went out of Tesla's life. Up until that moment, he had believed that he would fully accomplish anything he began, no matter how ambitious the plan might be. But after that moment, he knew his life's work was finished. He died soon afterwards. References. Pause here for the references. www.amethyst.me.uk. At Amy. Amethyst. Grey.